Hey everyone, and welcome back to KenkoVibe. I'm Ethan Reed,
And I'm Grace Morgan.
ready to dive into another health topic with us. Today we're tackling something that often gets, well, kind of overlooked.
Hmm.
The impact of ED,
Erectile dysfunction.
right on women.
We often focus on the physical side of things for men, but there's
Yeah.
a whole other dimension here, the impact on the woman in the relationship.
And that's what we're exploring today.
Absolutely. It's about time we shed some light on this.
Yeah. It's easy to think of ED as just affecting the man physically.
Right.
And
But it really does impact the entire dynamic.
For sure. So let's talk about that. What kind of emotional responses might women be experiencing when their partner is dealing with ED?
Well, just imagine feeling like your partner's body is almost betraying them. And
Yeah.
in a way, betraying the intimacy you share.
Right.
It's confusing and hurtful.
It's got to be.
Some women might even start questioning their own attractiveness
Oh, wow.
or their role in the relationship.
That's heavy stuff.
It is. And beyond that, some women might even feel like their own sexual identity is being challenged.
I hadn't really thought about that before.
If their partner can't engage in the same way,
Right.
it raises all sorts of questions about their own desires and needs.
That's a great point.
Mhm.
Like their whole sense of self is tied up in these experiences.
Absolutely.
So when those get disrupted, it makes sense that there would be
Yeah,
ripple effects.
big time.
But isn't it kind of natural for a man to just withdraw when
Oh,
he's
for sure.
facing ED?
It's a natural response.
How can a woman encourage him to open up about it?
It's tricky, right? Because you don't want to make him feel attacked.
Yeah.
It's delicate, but honestly, men often do retreat inward when they're struggling with something like this.
Makes sense.
They feel shame or embarrassed.
Right.
So approaching it with empathy is crucial.
Okay. So instead of blaming him,
Exactly.
it's more about saying, hey, this is how it's making me feel.
Yes. Focus on your emotions, the sadness, the loneliness,
Yeah.
the sense of disconnection.
And that can help him understand
That
what it's doing to the
for
relationship.
both of you.
But even with the best intentions, sometimes just seeking help can be tough.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a lot of stigma around ED.
There is.
How can partners kind of navigate that without adding to the pressure?
Well, one thing to remember is ED is incredibly common.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not a reflection of his masculinity.
Right. It's a medical condition.
Exactly. Like any other health issue.
But it can be treated.
Absolutely. And there are so many options these days.
That's good to hear.
Medication therapy, lifestyle changes, alternative approaches.
This is not just about like pop it a Viagra,
No, not at all.
hope for the best.
There's a lot more to it.
So what are we talking about here when we say alternative approaches to intimacy?
Well, think about something like sensual massage.
Okay.
It's a way to connect physically and emotionally without the pressure of penetration.
Right. So it's about rediscovering touch and intimacy
Yes.
in a way that feels safe for both partners.
Exactly. And there are so many other avenues to explore, different forms of non-penetrative sex,
Interesting.
focusing on pleasure and sensuality in new ways.
Right.
It's about getting creative,
Right.
remembering that intimacy is about so much more than just intercourse.
I love that. It's about shifting the focus from performance to connection,
Exactly.
which honestly can be so liberating for both people.
Absolutely. It's interesting because while we're talking about these alternative approaches, there's also been this growing interest in natural solutions for ED,
Like what?
like erection booster pills.
Oh, interesting. So from a woman's perspective, how do those kinds of solutions play into the whole intimacy dynamic? Because sometimes popping a pill feels like a quick fix,
Right.
but it doesn't always address the emotional side of things.
That's a really good point. You're right. Any solution, natural or not, needs to come with open communication and a willingness to work through the emotions together.
Absolutely.
But I will say for some couples, these natural solutions can be empowering.
Okay, so what are erection booster pills?
Yeah.
What are we talking about here? Some magic herbal concoction.
Well, not quite magic, but they are often made from a blend of herbs and natural ingredients that are thought to enhance blood flow balance hormones
Great.
or just generally support sexual health.
So it's more of a holistic approach.
Exactly. Rather than targeting a specific mechanism like Viagra,
Makes sense.
it can be appealing to men who are hesitant about pharmaceuticals or
Mhm.
who want a gentler approach.
Yeah, but how do women feel about their partner using these natural solutions?
It really varies from couple to couple.
I bet.
Some women are relieved that their partner is taking initiative
Right.
and finding a solution that feels right for them.
Yeah,
Others might be hesitant, particularly if they've had bad experiences with supplements in the past.
I can see that. So again, communication is key.
Always. With any treatment option, you need to have those open and honest conversations
For sure.
about expectations, concerns, potential side effects.
Now, you mentioned that these pills aren't regulated by the FDA in the same way as prescription medications.
Yeah.
So how can people make sure they're choosing safe and reputable products?
That's so important. You really have to do your research. Choose brands that are transparent about their ingredients and manufacturing processes.
Okay.
Look for products that have been third-party tested,
Yeah.
have positive customer reviews.
So basically be an informed consumer.
Exactly. Don't fall for the flashy marketing.
Yeah.
Ask questions. Talk to a healthcare professional.
Yeah.
Make a decision together as a couple.
And I imagine healthcare professionals play a really important role in all of this.
Absolutely. They can help assess the underlying causes of ED,
Yeah.
recommend appropriate treatments, and address any concerns you might have.
Because ED isn't always just a physical issue.
Exactly. There can be psychological factors at play too.
Like what?
Stress, anxiety, relationship issues, even past traumas can contribute to ED.
Wow.
That's why a holistic approach is so important.
Okay, so it's not just about treating the symptoms.
Right. Yeah.
It's about understanding the root cause and finding solutions that work for the whole person.
And the whole relationship.
And that's a great point.
Yeah.
It's about creating a sense of partnership and support,
Mm-hmm.
remembering that you're in this together.
You are.
And that's a really powerful message, I think.
It is.
It's about moving away from the shame and secrecy around ED
Right.
and creating a more open and understanding approach
Absolutely.
where you're both committed to finding solutions.
Together.
Yeah, it's about remembering that intimacy is a journey,
It is.
not a destination.
Mm-hmm.
And, sometimes that journey takes unexpected turns.
It does.
But with communication
Yes.
and creativity,
And compassion.
you can navigate those together.
Absolutely.
And come out stronger on the other side.
You can. And you know what? You're not alone in this.
That's so important to remember.
So many couples face these challenges.
Yeah,
And there are resources out there to help.
exactly.
If you're feeling lost or overwhelmed,
Reach out.
talk to a healthcare professional, a therapist,
Love it.
anyone you trust.
Yeah,
There's no shame in asking for help.
not at all.
In fact, it's a sign of strength
It is.
and a commitment to your well-being.
Your well-being and your
Yeah.
relationship's well-being.
And just knowing that you're not alone
Yeah.
can make a world of difference.
Absolutely. And remember, knowledge is power.
Always.
The more you understand about ED,
Right.
the better equipped you'll be to face these challenges.
And create a stronger connection.
Exactly.
Well, folks, it looks like we've reached the end of our deep dive today.
It does.
But before we go, I want to remind you that you're listening to KenkoVibe.
Your daily dose of health and wellness.
I'm Ethan Reed.
And I'm Grace Morgan.
We're so glad you joined us for this conversation about the impact of ED on women.
Thanks for being here.
It's a topic that deserves more attention.
It does.
And we hope you found it insightful and empowering.
We did too. And if something resonated with you today, we'd love to hear from you.
Leave a comment. Share this episode with a friend
Hit that subscribe button.
so you don't miss out on future deep dives.
And remember, a healthier, happier you starts right here with KenkoVibe.
See you next time.